Hello and welcome. I'm Maginpanic. I haven't been uploading for a while. I'm doing different things, but whatever. I have some materials lying around, time lapses from my Instagram posts. As you can see, Marceline from Adventure Time, and we're gonna focus on this animation. I'm gonna go through this step by step to introduce you to this animation and maybe help you creating something similar that might be cool if you are up to. So let's go. At the very beginning I had to redraw the Marceline. I have the reference when I have the Marceline in the 3/4 view, and I had to literally create her en face. So up front in those two poses, which is this sleeping type of thing and this aggressive with the tongue out pose, which wasn't too hard to create since I had this reference, but just frame by frame I had to do this animation. Right now just two poses, 1 and 2, and very simple background at the very back. I don't bother about it too much, but there we go. The tongue, the water on the tongue, and the arms, which don't have elbows. They are outside of the camera view, so we don't need them at all. At the very beginning, working on a principle from 12 principles of animation, follow through, I created this infinite type of thing, and over this infinite I was animating frame by frame this dot, and when the timing was okay for me, I started to create this line that was going around this follow through principle. So the beginning of the tongue, which is inside of the mouth, is dragging the tip of the mouth, and the tip of the tongue obviously is following my frame by frame animation around this infinite number. Okay, as you can see, it's going pretty smoothly and I was happy with the results. So the next step was to create the shape of the actual tongue, because it's like secondary thing to create the shape of the tongue. At the very beginning we have to have the strong basics, and the basics was that line inside following the follow through thing. As you can see, I'm animating it straightforward, so everything that's organic is more comfortable for me to make it straightforward. So I'm making one frame and then the next one and then the next one. That's how it goes, without any keys and in-betweens. I hate doing that, honestly. Once I was happy with the shape of the tongue based on the base that I created while before, the next step is to create an obvious thing, those kind of wrinkles on the tongue. It's still the secondary thing, it's not very important. I'm adding the details at the very end. This is the point where I'm focusing on the details. Once I have the motion and once I have the shape of the tongue prepared and ready to rumble, I have this almost invisible line to create the shading. It's called stroke. You can achieve it by pressing K on the keyboard and Alt V, I believe, to enter this stroke tool. Once I was happy with the tongue, I knew I had this water animation to do, but before that, let's do the mouth shapes to make this animation work. Obviously I have the deformer because I didn't want it to animate this U-shaped mouth for like 3 frames, and I have immediately this next frame. So obviously it's missing like 2-3 frames to make this happen, to make this work, and I didn't bother too much. I just took the shape of the outside of the mouth and I drew it just smaller, and this is pretty much what I needed, right? Just 3 frames, this is it. Used the interior of the mouth entirely, just the shape of the mouth defined that shape. The tongue was in the cycle, okay? So I had to add those 2-3 frames to start the cycle and end the cycle, and that's what you saw at the a while ago, and right now I'm just creating those 3 frames just as I did with the mouth, because the mouth was on the separate layer. Right now I have to do exactly the same with the whole body and the hair and everything to make it work. I wanted to achieve just a snappy motion. I didn't want it to create like 10 frames for this transition. 3 frames is enough and exactly the amount that I wanted. As you can see, I'm strobing before and after to create a perfect in-between, the one that I will be happy about. And once I was happy about it, let's move to the tongue, the sweet tongue animation, the water. The water will go from the inside of the mouth at the very beginning. And obviously I'm using again the same straightforward method because you will see in 1 second what's going on. There is some water on the tip of the tongue, and I wanted this water to produce on the tip of the tongue like infinite amount. And as I'm detaching parts of the water droplets, I'm animating it through until it's disappearing, and then I'm moving to the next frame with the shape of the water on the tongue. So I'm trying to focus on one thing at a time, not focusing on the entire thing, entire shape of the water and what's going on. As fast as something is detaching from the shape of the water on the tongue, I'm animating that droplet in its own velocity, in its own direction, to the point where it's disappearing. And that's pretty much how I created this Marceline animation. I hope you like it. I have a bunch of more animations, more time lapses like this. I believe for the cartoon bear I did like 24 or so, and from every single one of them I believe there is something to learn from, and that might be good if I will just make more. Let me know in the comment section if you like this video. Give a like, subscribe this dead channel. It's a dead channel, right? Have a wonderful day, or have a sick day. Cheers.